begin with 2.01. Dr. Douglas.
Thank you, President Strollo. 2.1 is the introduction of our slate for Board of Education members. Because we built it into our presentation, we will do the introduction as we go through our slides today. So it's my pleasure to move towards 3.01 with Mr. Strollo's permission and present Ms. Katie Bizzetti, School Business Administrator, to open the public hearing on the budget presentation.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm going to walk you through our 1920 proposed budget public hearing. So this is our proposed levy for the 1920 levy within our budget. This is the formula based on the governor's formula in the tax levy law. Items of note in this formula to pay attention to are the tax-based growth factor and the allowable levy growth factor. These are two factors that are determined for us that are used to calculate the growth within the calculation. So this year, tax-based growth factor is 2.88%, and the allowable levy growth factor is 2%, which is the 2% phrase that you hear when referring to the tax cap calculation. 2% or less is the CPI growth factor. Other items that contribute to this calculation are the items within the capital exclusion. That is our debt associated with capital projects and bus bonding, offset by any aggregate associated with those items. So all those items put together, we do have a maximum allowable levy limit of $40,226,430, which is a 7.63% increase. Throughout this process, discussions with the board, we are going out to the public with a levy increase of 3.97%, which is considerably less than what this tax cap calculation says we can do. So based on the levy that we're going out with, based on this calculation, we've reached out to the county, got some preliminary assessment data to put together a projection of what this could do to the tax rate in the fall. So based on the data that the county has at this time, in April, the tax rate increase will go from $17.97 per thousand to $18.57 per thousand, 3.28%, which equates to a $59 per $100,000 assessed home. Again, this is all very preliminary. Assessments are not settled until the fall. We're fortunate in this district to see continual growth in our assessments, so we're expecting to continue to see that. Here's a comparison of our proposed 1920 budget to the adopted 1819 budget. We're looking at an increase of $2.8 million or 3.75%. To cover our budget that we're proposing, this is our snapshot of the state aid that we received from the state for 1920. We are expecting to receive an increase of $1.6 million or just a little over 5%. This is a snapshot of our revenue. All told of how we're going to cover our budget between the tax levy, state aid, other items, which includes things like our BOCES refund, our stop loss insurance payments, admissions, and things like that. And we also are continuing to use some reserves and appropriated fund balance to balance our budget, but you will note that we're using less in reserves, and we've eliminated the use of the interfund transfer, which was from the debt service fund. Our budget balances out $79.9 million in expenditures to $79.9 million in our revenues. So as always, we're proud to announce that this budget maintains all of our current programs and educational activities. And new in this budget this year, we really took a hard look at things going on within our district, and we focused on items of safety and mental health. So we're adding a school resource officer for our elementary schools. We're adding 4 social workers at one social worker for each of our 4 elementary schools to address social and emotional issues. We're upgrading our bus repeater system to improve communication with our buses, and we're adding an additional bus monitor to be on our buses, again, for the mental health issues. Other additions that we're adding, we're replacing the calculators at the high school and middle schools. We're adding an additional cross-country coach, an additional cleaner, and we've added a stipend for the intermediate student council. This budget also utilizes fund balance and cash reserves of $2.5 million, which is a decrease from the prior year, which strengthens the district's financial position. Again, our tax levy is below the calculation that the governor says that we could go out with, 3.97% versus the 7.63% that's allowable. And this equates to an estimated increase in the full value tax rate of 3.28%, or $59 on a home assessed at $100,000. This is an overview of our fund balance and reserves to be utilized in our 1920 budget. Again, the use of the debt service fund has been eliminated for this budget. Our aid to our debt is in a good position, so we don't need to utilize this fund at this time. We've also decreased the use of our retirement contribution reserve. Budget to budget history, we're in line where we've been over the past several years at 3.75%. And this is an illustration that shows a pretty powerful picture that our levy increase does not equate to what your tax rate increase is going to be. Our tax levy increase, which is the amount that we're able to collect from the public, has been increasing at a rate that's higher than the tax rate, which is the amount that individuals pay towards the levy. So with the exception of 1 year, the rate increase has been less than the levy increase. Projections are found that trend at this time. This is a snapshot of some data compiled by the state that shows where the Worksted Central School District compares to schools similar to ours, as well as the state in its entirety, and you'll see that we are spending quite a bit less per student than those comparisons, and we're the 17th lowest, of the 431 upstate districts. So overview of Proposition 2, we're going to be asking to purchase 8 65-passenger buses and 2 20-passenger buses at a cost not to exceed $1.4 million. This is part of our continued bus replacement system to keep our bus fleet it is optimized best. Proposition 3 is asking to establish a new capital reserve to continue to save money for any future capital projects the district may consider. The establishment of the capital reserve will be funded through any surplus funds the district realizes, again, each school year, if any, in this proposition does have no tax impact. Proposition 4 is asking the public to give us permission to purchase an office building on Hibbert Road. Use of this space would assist the district during the capital improvement project as classrooms are being taken offline for renovations. District offices at this end of the building can be converted to classrooms so we don't disrupt education. Purchasing versus leasing gives the district an asset at the end of the cycle versus leasing and turning it over at the end. The purchase price will be an amount not to exceed $595,000, and we will be using funds from the district's unassigned fund balance to pay for this, so we don't have to borrow for this particular purchase. Therefore, there's no tax impact of this proposition. So here's the long version of what you see on the ballot. Proposition 1 is the adoption of the 1920 budget. Proposition 2, purchase of the buses. Proposition 3, the capital reserve. Proposition 4, the acquisition of the Hibbert Road property. Also on the ballot, we will have 3 names on the ballot for 3 open seats of the board. This is the order that they will appear on the ballot. First is Marianne Halloran, second is Shayla Javed, and third is Daniel Christmas. And here's where we started way back in February to our public hearing tonight. And next is the budget vote in the Board of Election on Tuesday, May 21st, here at the high school, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
All right, thank you, Katie. Any questions or comments from the board?
Just a quick one. Great presentation. Want to thank everybody that was involved in creating the budget and working on it. And I know it's been a lot of iterations with all the schools and everything. So thank you very much. One slide I think is really powerful is the expenditures per student, which was kind of near the end. And it's pretty remarkable. Kind of looking back, we're actually lower cost than we were 2 years ago, which is pretty remarkable for us. So that tells me two good things. One is we're keeping expenses down, and secondly, Forsyth has done a very good job of keeping the number of students compared to years past, where a lot of schools in New York State are trailing down quite a bit. They're losing a lot of the school population, and we've been pretty successful not losing as many, and that really shows in that denominator there in the expenses per student. So great job on both respects. But thank you.
All right, on to item 4. Any questions or comments from those in attendance? All right, hearing none, everyone get out and vote on the 21st. And need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstentions?